Good evening, fellow nerds. T. Allen Diaz here, doing another video. Got a couple things to talk about today. First and foremost, I have to tell you, the first ever completed trilogy, Persona trilogy, is going out in the mail tomorrow. It's been signed, autographed, in Sharpie, and I will never do that again. It's like nails on a chalkboard. I can't do it. But it is going out to Melanie Kudlak. Melanie, it's coming to you. I think you're north of the border there in Canada, so it might be a little while. But this is going out first thing in the morning. I want to apologize to you because the last time you heard, anybody out there heard, I couldn't find a reason why it wouldn't go out on Tuesday. Well, Murphy looked for me and he found a reason, and that's this little gem right here. This is the Volga cell. The Volga cell ended up not this particular copy. I have only one for you, and that one copy turned up missing. In the post-holiday shuffle, it ended up in a box, and decorations and stuff gets moved, and things get put away, and next thing you know, I'm looking at maybe having to buy another one, and I was really glad that I did not. This is an advanced reader copy, so there's a couple it's a little bit different. The format's a little different than this, but you're going to see this. This is coming down the pike. This is going to be yours, your first ever completed edition. Also, when I get done here, on that note, these copies, while the covers are going to remain the same, they're going to be changed a little bit. I now have a computer program here that my son has. Thank you, Jake. That has the ability to give me a higher resolution. So I'm going to be able to make this look a little bit better than it currently looks. I'm going to do some stuff with the back cover. You can see the resolution on these isn't as nice. It's not as crisp. It's not as clean. I'm going to go for a little bit different look on some of these. Frankly, borrowing a little bit from DJ Butler and some of those guys over at Wordfire. I like the way their books are set up, so I'm going to steal some of those ideas. Those covers are the last of their kind. I've got 5 more copies of the Persithian Reign, and that's it. No other copies exist with those covers, and they probably won't ever again. So the last of their kind, the last of their breed, are going away. All right. One last thing that I want to talk about before I split out of here, okay? And that is, I want to talk a little bit to you about the Volga cell. The Volga cell has 2 characters in it that are near and dear to my heart, at least in name, and that is I got 2 good friends of mine. They're both writer friends, and they took some time out of their lives. One of them was a UK indie writer up in the UK named Chris Pope. Writes some really good vampire stuff. If you guys are into that, he's a really good indie writer to look at and to find and to support. He's a good dude. Chris Pope is his name, and he wrote a vampire novel, and he took the opportunity to name one of his characters after me, and proceeded to do some mean things to him. So I said, well, 2 can play at that game. So I have a character in here named Chris Pope that I can do mean things to. So turnabout is fair play, Chris. So the other one that is in here is he's actually in both of these books. He makes an appearance in each book. When I wrote Persithian Reign, I had fallen out of touch with a good friend of mine named Dan and Tango. I hadn't talked to him in years, and through some serendipity, I was able to make contact with him again, but it wasn't until after I had Persithian Reign written. It's been written for quite some time. And I came to find out that he had written a book on his own, and it's called The History of Man's Future, and in it, he names a character named Admiral Thaddeus, and the T in T. Allen stands for Thad, not Thaddeus, but Thaddeus. So I took the opportunity to name a central character, central figure, Dan and Tango. He's actually D.E., Dan and Tango. In this one, he's called D.E., and then this one, he's called Dan. Interestingly enough, him and Chris Pope don't see eye to eye on some things, so it's kind of neat to put those guys against each other. But at any rate, it was a lot of fun. And Dan, I know my buddy Dan, he's having some tough times, so I want to give him a shout out, tell him, hey man, I'm thinking of you, buddy, and I hope everything's working out for you. Please, feel free to call on me for anything you need. But in the meantime, the rest of you, I think that's going to wrap it up. I cut this one under 5 minutes. Woohoo! All right, man. Y'all have a good time. I'll see you next time. T. Allen out.